Here we go. UFC 303. Sam and Joe back for another week. We're going to go through the main cards, maybe one or two more ahead of this weekend's massive fights. International Fight Week. Obviously, the short notice headliner between Alex Pereira and Jiri Procházka, and that co-main as well, Diego Lopes facing off against Brian Ortega. The excitement has been building. Joe, we covered it the other week in lots of depth around Conor McGregor, Chandler falling off, but we're here at showtime pretty much, and it looks like we've got a solid main and co-main to take us through to International Fight Week.
Yeah, with you, Sam, really excited for this weekend. Like I said earlier, I've got a few Guinness. Oh, I did say earlier because I screwed up the recording once, so apologies for that, Sam. But yeah, I've got a few Guinness waiting by my side for Saturday. I think I'll be deep in by the main event, and I'm hoping the bets are going well. So yeah, excited. Some incredible fights. A shame Conor's not, like you said, performing, but on how short notice, about 2 or 3 were happy with how it's ended up.
Yeah, looking forward to it as well. We'll kick off and get straight into it. A bit of a shorter show this week, but we're going to go into some of these fights and give you our picks as we usually do around these big events. We'll kick off with the top of the prelims. Joe Pyfer against Marc-Andre Barriault. Interesting fight, this one. Joe Pyfer, a lot of hype off the Contender Series, was building that nice bit of momentum until he ran into the hype killer, Jack Hermansson, last time out. What are you making of this fight, Joe?
Really like both of these fighters. Marc-Andre Barriault has been up and down. I've watched him quite a few times. He's well-rounded. He's a well-rounded fighter. He's got potential. He's just never quite realised it yet. I think Joe Pyfer, with his quote-unquote biggest knockout power in the UFC, based on that machine that's getting less and less credible by the month, I think, Sam, with some of the recent ones. So exciting, obviously. And then Joe Pyfer, knockout artist, absolute animal of a lad again. Should be a good one. I'm hoping Marc-Andre Barriault gets the win and goes on a bit of a run here, Sam. I've been following him a couple of years. Been on the precipice of doing just kicking in that top 15, and I think this is his fight to do it.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to go the other way. Obviously, we saw Marc-Andre Barriault lose last time out against Chris Curtis, split decision. So no disgrace there. Chris Curtis, a solid fighter in this division, but I think Joe Pyfer, I think with the output of Barriault and the fact that he is so come forward, and he will take one to give one, so to speak. He's 5-6 in the UFC, and I think with the power that he does possess, machine or no machine, Joe Pyfer does have good power in his hands, and I think Marc-Andre might walk onto one here. So I'm going for Pyfer, KO, TKO, to get it done in the distance. Are you saying Marc-Andre is gonna get the finish?
No, I'm going Marc-Andre Barriault by decision. I think he's a tough lad. I think he'll just do enough to beat the decision. As long as he avoids Pyfer's right hand, which is, again, a lot easier said than done. But I don't know. I rate him. Sam. So we'll see. I like it. We're disagreeing on one. We're normally agreeing and conforming with each other. So yeah, let's get stuck in. Not co-main event, prelim main event of the evening. We'll be texting each other about who's right on this one.
Yeah, interesting fight, that one. Top of the prelim should be an exciting one. Let's move on to the main card, and one that has had the hype. This one that they were giving it back and forth in the press conference, and then we see a clip after of Michael Venom Page saying hello to the kid of Ian Garry, all very pally after a bit of beef on stage at the press conference. Ian Garry against Michael Venom Page. How are you seeing this fight?
I think I'm one of the last remaining Ian Garry fans. I know it's a controversial thing to say that you're a fan of Ian Garry in this in 2024. He's obviously had a few embarrassments. I think he gets judged harshly on his on his wife's ex-career, ex-book she wrote. I think it's not a big deal to me. I like him. He's confident, talks the talk. For me, he's pretty much walked the walk so far. I like the way he is. He seems an all right lad. He's got a brilliant backstory. He's a good person. MVP. I think if anyone's seen YouTube short highlights, he would have been in a couple over the years. He's had some incredible, crazy knockouts. Broke men's skull. Through Pokeball, I believe at that same one who he broke the skull. He's done some daft stuff. He's fought Mike Perry in. I just think he's a good stand-up fighter. MVP. I think Garry's got too much for him here, Sam.
Yeah, I'm edging towards Garry. I think I'd like to see MVP win and go on a bit of a run in the UFC, and have a big fight. Against one of the top names, so to speak. I know Garry's kind of growing in his stardom, but I think I agree that I think Garry's going to have too much. I think if that first fight of MVP, whether he was being a bit cautious or not, coming into the organization, making his debut at 37, I think if he's going to fight a little bit like that and take his time and pick his moments to cause his chaos and be creative, I think that Garry might. As you said, he's got such high energy, high output. He's got good striking, good distance control. I think he might just be able to get in and out and just catch the judge's eye. I've gone for Garry points by decision on this one when I've been writing it this week. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards Ian Garry. Just that activity that he is going to have, as you said, very confident boy. He's not going to be fazed at all by MVP and the angles that he's making and the chaos he's trying to create in there. So. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Ian Garry by decision. I think obviously he's gone to decision in his last couple as he's gone through the rankings against Neil Magny, wasn't it? And then last time out against Jeff Neal, both decisions, a split decision against Jeff Neal as well. But I don't see MVP putting it on him as much as Jeff Neal did. So I think he might just be able to pick his moments and just about get a decision. But I think it's going to be a close fight and be a bit of a chess match, this one at times.
Yeah, with you. I think this one could end up... This is one for me that I think might end up disappointing the fans. I don't want to be negative about it, but I feel like it's going to be one of them. They'll be figuring each other out for a round, I'd say for sure. I'd be very shocked if one of them goes and, like you said, goes for the attack, goes for the finish early. I think chess match, you've nailed it, Sam. I think will be one of them that we're all tweeting saying bit disappointing, but let's see what Ian Garry's got next. I think it's the two high level strikers, neither are gonna do anything crazy on the ground. Garry maybe gets the takedown late on. I don't know. I can see Garry just pointing this one out. MVP is old now. I think he's just past his time. Let's go, Ian. We'll get some stick for that.
yeah, no, I agree. I think potentially on paper it's a fight that one of those, isn't it? It's like, wow, this could be, and it still could be, but there is potential that they are going to keep it very tactical, and that's kind of the way I've kind of gone about it this week. Bueno Silva, we saw in title action last time out, was very disappointing. Macy Chiasson, a tough winner. I've not gone into this one in too much detail this week, to be honest. I'm still pissed off with Bueno Silva from that title performance and ruining my pick against Raquel Pennington. But what have you gone for in this one?
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I'm going Macy Chiasson. I don't think that Bueno Silva bounces back from that. I think that might take her a fight too. Women's fights in general look closer because there's not that knockout edge unless you're Amanda Nunes or one of the others. They're normally a lot closer in general. I think Chiasson probably is a bit too much overall for Bueno Silva, and like I said, very disappointing. The bounce back always happens. So I don't know. I've got Macy Chiasson. I'm not changing my mind. So
I've not necessarily gone for a full pick on this one. Obviously she's got the jiu-jitsu, the Bueno Silva. She's got 4 submission wins in the UFC, but I'm edging with you. I think that I'm gonna go for Macy Chiasson to get the win in this one. But we'll see how that one plays out. We'll move on and talk about Anthony Smith against Roman Dolidze. Anthony Smith, we picked against when he was fighting Vito Petrino a couple of months ago. He stepped in here in this crazy fight that started off with completely different opponents. Obviously, Carlos Ulberg had stepped in, and then Jamal Hill had come off that fight. Anthony Smith had stepped in, then Ulberg pulled out, and that leaves Roman Dolidze to face Anthony Smith at short notice. Just over a week for Dolidze, about 10 days, 12 days for Anthony Smith. How are you seeing this one at light heavyweight?
I don't think I think Dolidze's got too much. But like you said, both quick turnarounds. You don't know what they've both done since, whether they've just carried on camp. Two weight cuts in a row. As we know with Tony Ferguson's always a risky endeavour. That quicker time, it's very, very taxing on the body. My brain's telling me Dolidze, Sam, but my heart's telling me the Lionheart. I think after I went against him last time against Petrino, I'm learning my lesson here, and I think I'm going to go Anthony Smith. That experience, that short notice. I don't think it affects them experienced fighters as much. They're not having the ups and downs. It's more level-headed when they've had that experience, that time fighting. So yeah, I'm going Lionheart Smith to go on a bit of a run, Sam. I'm not backing against him again.
Yeah, he's been talking himself up, a potential title contention if he was to beat Ulberg in that one that was scheduled. But coming in, I'm going to go for Dolidze. I think. Moving up or back up to light heavyweight. I've been campaigning at middleweight for most of his UFC career, ranked number 10, I think, in the rankings at the moment, but started off his UFC career 2-0 as a light heavy. He's fought on the regional European scene as a light heavyweight, undefeated. So he's fought at this weight before. And obviously, I think at these short notice ones, he was in camp for 3 or 2, I think, against Anthony Hernandez. That fight was pulled. So he had been in camp, come out of camp. But obviously, he's not got to cut as much weight for this short notice fight. Normally making 185, weighing in at 205 for this one. Obviously, has power. At middleweight, we've seen him kind of carried back up, at the top level in this kind of top 10, top 15 at light heavyweight. We'll find out, but I think at short notice, I saw him last night. The press conference looks in decent nick, so I'm going to side with Dolidze getting the job done here and becoming potentially this, a kind of outsider in this light heavyweight scene.
Yeah, I get you, Sam. I'm like I said, my brain's telling me everything you've said there, but I'm not backing against him. I can't do it. I'm sticking with the Lionheart on pure heart and love of the game.
I like it. Loyal. Oh, not that loyal, but
yeah.
Let's move on and talk about the co-main event, the new co-main event for this UFC 303 cards. And this is the one I'm really looking forward to. Brian Ortega against Diego Lopes. Ortega, number 3 in the featherweight rankings, has been in the UFC a long time. He's had a 10-year career in the UFC. He's had quite a few injuries. He's not been probably as active as he would have wanted over the years. And then you've got Diego Lopes, who's just burst onto the scene in this last kind of 18 months or so. 3 wins in a row, all in the first round. He's exciting. He's kind of almost a young Ortega in a way. This wild jiu-jitsu. He's got power in his hands. He's aggressive. And what are you making of this co-main?
I've got a feeling, by the way, you've worded that one, Sam, that we might end up having different picks again, which is going to be interesting. We can have a bit of fun on the next show reviewing maybe, but I think I'm going to go Brian Ortega. I like his experience. I think I prefer Ortega's jiu-jitsu. I think it translates better to MMA. I think them strangleholds in MMA, one of the most common you'll see, rear naked chokes. They're the ones you see in MMA from the jiu-jitsu world, and Ortega's extremely good at them. Obviously, amazing nicknames T-City. I think if it gets in the exchange, Ortega will catch him in something in one of these submissions. Lopes has got an extremely good right hand, extremely powerful. Obviously, he's ripped to death. He's got a body that I think we'd all want. So he's definitely athletic, definitely strong. But I think Ortega's got a head of bricks, and I don't think you're knocking Ortega out. He's known as extremely hard to finish. I think Lopes causes Ortega a lot of damage, but I think Ortega picks this one, Sam.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with Brian Ortega as well. I do like Lopes, and it'd be interesting to see him win. I think my only question mark over Ortega is that he's been doing these interviews saying the plan was to go to 155, fight the Sphere. He's kind of not really motivated for anything. He's kind of been told there's no title. If he wins this or he wins the next one, the title's booked out for the next probably 9 to 10, maybe 12 months, with Volkanovski and Holloway, waiting in the wings for Topuria. So that's my only question mark over him. But I think we've seen a few of these matchups recently where, a guy coming into the top 15 with a lot of hype has fought someone, at that top end of the division, kind of a Saint-Denis against Poirier kind of scenario. And they found it just that jump a little bit too tough to make. So that's where I'm going with this one. As you said, Ortega, he's got 8 wins in the UFC. 7 of them have been finishes, 3 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's a hard guy to put away. He's only been beaten 3 times, and that's by in his 2 title fights against Holloway, against Volkanovski. He suffered that shoulder injury against Rodriguez, came back a year or so later, 18 months later, submitted Rodriguez in February. Makes a fast turnaround here. Relatively looking at his career where he's kind of had years out and stuff. He's back in the octagon within 4 months. So I'm going for Brian Ortega in this one.
With you.
And let's move on to the main event. Alex Pereira stepping in short notice with Jiri Procházka for this rematch. Obviously, we saw it at Madison Square Garden last November, where Pereira won that vacant title. Obviously, Procházka was the champion, had to vacate due to that shoulder injury. Where are you seeing this fight for the main event and the light heavyweight title?
As I said at the I didn't. I think I said this on the one that I screwed up on again. So no, I think I'm going Alex Pereira. I think he's retaining the title. Procházka is in it. He's so interesting as a person. He's so different, so unorthodox, but you're not beating Pereira standing up unless you've got the same level of stand-up. I think he's the only one that's got close, and Pereira was winning that fight. He gambled and played chicken a bit, didn't he, or whatever the terminology is, where he pretended he were hurt and then caught him. I don't think you're beating Pereira in a stand-up fight, so I'd love to see. I think we've still not seen him fight many wrestlers. We've still not seen him taken down time and time again by one of these top-level wrestlers that the UFC always have in the coming from the NCAA or Russia. We've just not seen it, and I don't think Procházka's the man to beat Pereira. There are challenges coming for him, but I don't think Procházka's the man to dethrone the potential Triple Crown winner in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'm edging towards Pereira. I think Procházka's got a chance, a better chance of that they gave him in the first fight. Obviously, come off that injury. He's had another fight against Rakic, survived another bit of a storm there. But I just think that the leg kicks at Pereira will be too damaging. And I just don't know if Procházka is going to mix it up enough and, like say, try and wrestle him a bit more. I got the takedown in the first round of the first fight, but potentially he could cause problems for Pereira, and that should be his game plan, really, given the fact that Pereira's not had a camp for this. He's probably his training has been around the kind of stand-up kind of things, all the seminars he's been doing. He's probably not been training much wrestling until he got back from Australia, just over a week ago. So and that's his route to victory. But will he do it? Can he do it enough to slow him down? I just think there's a with him being the kind of fighter he is, there's always a way in for that Pereira left hand. And I think once that lands properly, there aren't many that are surviving that. So yeah, I'm going to go for Pereira. I think Procházka's got a mistake in him. I think he'll put a better performance in than the first fight. But yeah, I think Pereira's just got that level of confidence and momentum. Well, like you said, unless you're getting him down and ragdolling him, and he's always confident that moment's going to come, and I think it will.
Yeah, with you.
Excellent. Lovely stuff. UFC 303. Looking forward to that one this weekend. Joe, thanks very much. Bit of a shorter show this week. We'll be back again next week. But good to see you, mate. And enjoy the fights on Saturday.
Thank you. Sam, like I said, if you, I might be a couple of guineas in by the time you're messaging me about the results. So don't mind whatever comes out my mouth if my picks don't win. And I'll see you. I'll give you a message on Sunday about the fights. Good luck to all having a gamble.
Yeah, enjoy, and we'll see you next week.